Hello, my name is Jia Arora. I moved from New Delhi, India to Canada in December last year. Delhi's high pollution levels do not come as a surprise to anyone. So moving to Canada was a breath of fresh air, quite literally. All of us are, in some shape or form, aware of the risks posed by air pollution. Coronary syndrome, arrhythmia, heart failure, stroke, and sudden cardiac death. But no one delves into the why and how of these risks. In February 2020, while at work, my father received a call from my maternal grandmother living in Hyderabad to tell him that her son, my mom's only sibling, and a 35-year-old healthy man, had passed away because of a sudden heart attack. It was unimaginable. However, unfortunately, that wasn't the last time I heard about a close relative or friend experiencing a sudden heart attack and dying because of it. This pushed me to pursue epidemiological research in the field, to look for a biological explanation for an elevation in the cases of sudden cardiac death and other cardiovascular health problems. Sudden cardiac death from cardiac arrest has been a major international public health problem, accounting for an estimated 15 to 20% of all deaths. And atherosclerosis is responsible for more than half of all cases of sudden death. I just threw a big word in there. Atherosclerosis. Imagine it like the walls of all the wet areas of your house. Bathroom, laundry room, kitchen. The moisture in these areas can get under the paint of the walls, causing the paint to peel over time, making your wall look cracked and flaky. Now imagine a similar scenario occurring, but in your blood vessels. Similar to the moisture within the walls of your kitchen, atherosclerosis is characterized by the buildup of fat, cholesterol, calcium, and white blood cells within the walls of arteries, leading to the narrowing of arteries, much like this straw. If I squeeze this straw, would you be able to drink from it? Probably, but your experience wouldn't be as pleasurable because the amount of substance that reaches your mouth would be limited by how narrow the straw has become. Similarly, suppose the passageway through our arteries becomes narrow because of this buildup of plaque. In that case, the supply of oxygen through the blood to our most crucial organs is limited, thus accelerating stress on the whole cardiovascular system. Not only that, but this fatty plaque is always at a risk of rupture. If ruptured, it forms a blood clot, also known as a thrombus. The fate of this thrombus is that it can either accumulate additional platelets and fibrin and increase in size, or it can dislodge and travel to other sites in the vasculature. If it blocks an artery supplying blood to the heart muscle, it can lead to the death of cardiac tissue surrounding the blood vessel, causing you to die within the first 20 minutes of the progression of the heart attack. If it travels to your lungs, it can lead to a pulmonary embolism. And if it reaches your brain, it can cause a stroke. Pretty scary to think about, isn't it? What's even scarier to think about is that the air you're breathing right now contributes to this plaque buildup and thus is slowly but consistently killing you. Let that sink in. The air you're breathing as you watch this speech is killing you. Let's understand how. One of the early stages in the development of atherosclerosis, which causes the narrowing of arteries, is endothelial dysfunction. The endothelium refers to the ultra-thin layer of protective cells lining the inner walls of every artery, your heart, and the entire vascular system. It separates the blood flow from the rest of the vessel wall. Let's bring back the straw. Under normal pathological conditions, your arteries look like this. When our blood flow increases, which is something that happens naturally in our bodies without us knowing, the endothelium reacts by releasing a chemical called nitric oxide, which helps in widening the blood vessels as a result of the relaxation of the blood vessels' muscular walls, making it look like a wider straw. This allows the efficient flow of blood. Hence, endothelial dysfunction would mean the loss of this endothelium-dependent relaxation of the smooth muscle layer of the blood vessels. Since nitric oxide is what assists the endothelium to relax, endothelial dysfunction occurs mainly due to a decreased level of available nitric oxide in our vessel walls. Nitric oxide is critical for maintaining vascular homeostasis because not only does it help our blood vessels to relax, but also prevents the various processes that promote the narrowing of arteries. But maintaining this state of balance becomes harder for people surrounded by air pollution. Air pollution consists of particulate matter, oxides of nitrogen, and ozone, which are potent oxidants. When inhaled, these oxidants induce something called oxidative stress in the body. As the name suggests, oxidative stress refers to a chain of harmful oxidation reactions initiated by free radicals called reactive oxygen species, in short, ROS. ROS are molecules that contain an unpaired electron. Looking back on grade 10 chemistry, any molecule containing an unpaired electron in its outermost shell is highly unstable and thus tends to react with and steal an electron from other molecules, hence the chain of harmful oxidation reactions. These oxidation reactions can damage lipids, proteins, and macromolecules like DNA and RNA. But most importantly, high levels of ROS lead to reduced bioavailability of nitric oxide in the endothelium layer. Recall that nitric oxide helps our arteries to relax and widen. Therefore, the reduced bioavailability of nitric oxide implies that our blood vessels can no longer maintain a relaxed vascular tone, which increases the shear stress on our vessel wall. Picture it as though our blood flow scratches the inner walls of our arteries due to chronic hypertension. The paint peels off, leading to endothelial dysfunction, which circles us back to the narrowing of arteries and its subsequent health effects. Up till now, it sounds like there is nothing we can do but succumb to a slow death as a result of air pollution. Except there is. We can prevent, slow down, or even reverse this narrowing of arteries through a few simple changes in our lifestyle. In a research study, the endothelial function of 20 college-age students was observed. Half of them ate a 900-calorie lunch, mainly comprising carbohydrates, fruits, and vegetables. The other half of the group ate a lunch, same in the number of calories, but consisting of a cheeseburger, French fries, and a milkshake instead. Acute exposure to this high-fat diet within 2 to 3 hours had a significant decrease in endothelial function, which slowly improved after 6 hours. Foods high in trans fats and saturated fats are atherogenic. Therefore, eating excess amounts of red meat, full-fat dairy products, fried food, and food cooked in coconut or palm oil should be avoided. As kids, our parents always encourage us to eat green leafy vegetables. Well, they're not wrong. A ketone supplemented diet rich in green leafy vegetables, nuts, legumes, and berries has been proven to reduce the generation of reactive oxygen species. Furthermore, cocoa polyphenols have been strongly linked with improved endothelial function in clinical trials as they protect nitric oxide synthesis through several biological pathways. Foods rich in polyphenols include almonds, hazelnuts, and most of us would love to hear this, dark chocolate. In addition to an unhealthy diet, a sedentary lifestyle significantly increases the risk of developing coronary artery disease. Hence, walking for at least 30 minutes 5 times per week is recommended. Being physically active also helps in shedding excess weight, which is another risk factor. So, no, we cannot necessarily change where we live, and we don't see air pollution levels magically going down in the near future. What we can do, however, is adopt a heart-healthy lifestyle and do everything in our power to fight the progression of atherosclerosis. We can live with the moisture within the walls of our houses for years before it becomes trouble. But climate change is a house on fire and needs to be dealt with now. With the fatal rise in air pollution, our cardiovascular health is declining. You might not feel it yet, but the air you breathe as you watch me talk is causing your body to deteriorate at a rate which is much faster than what's natural. Understanding the extent of this damage is the first step to protecting ourselves from it and initiating change so that the future generations don't have to. Thank you.